Hey, welcome to Business Got Personal. This podcast is brought to you by VideoAsk, type from Slater's tool, and I'm Alex Antolino, your host for the next 30 minutes and VideoAsk creative director. In this podcast, I always do a big effort to bring you people who are innovating in terms of the way they communicate and create content, but more specifically in the way they use video to achieve their business goals. And today I have a topic that is very close to my heart, which is education. And I'm very passionate about education. So we're going to talk today about online education, but more specifically, how to use asynchronous video to enhance the online educational experience. To do that, I have someone today with me that has been coding the web since 1996. Hold on, that's a lot of years. I mean, when was the internet created? Like, that's a lot of time, right? He started also the biggest no-code tech community in France. And since the lockdown started, they've introduced no-code tools to nearly 1,000 people. Today, I have Alexis Kovalenko with me, and he's the co-founder of Contournement. Hello, Alexis. How are you doing today?
Very good. How about you?
I'm great, man. I'm great. Thanks so much for being on the show. I've been wanting to do a conversation around online education for a while now. So the first question I want to ask you is, what is more important on online education? The content itself, the knowledge, or the relationships you build?
It's a tough question because it's a bit like a chicken and egg, but I would say the content.
Okay.
It because I think the content is what helps you create great relationships, because this is the way you give you people knowledge and things, and then they will start the relationship. I mean, people have to get to know you for something, and this is what you will provide originally. And so that, I would say, that's usually, on the internet, that's how people will find us. It's because we put content on YouTube, we create content, we have podcasts, we do all those things. So this is usually what they get, the first thing of us, like the first impression. And then from there we get in touch in some various ways, become maybe client of our trainings and things like that, or they join our community, and then we get to build relationships. But yeah, that's what I would say.
Awesome. Okay. So content is important because it helps you, it brings people together and it helps you build those relationships, right? Because I was asking this question because I see a lot of people jumping into like coaching and like the mastermind groups and things like that. And I wonder, does content matter anymore?
Yeah, but I mean, would you join a mastermind group if you don't know anything about the I don't know how you call that, the head of the
Right.
group? Like, you need to get something, I think. I mean, and that's, and you need to have something on the media that people use. If people, you want to get in touch with them because they're great writers, you want to read stuff about them. If you're going to buy video classes from them, you need to see them on video, I think, before really engaging too much. So
Yeah. All right. And so, what, in your opinion and based on your experience, what are the main challenges of online education and like setting up an online educational business?
I think I would say the first challenge is knowing the person you have in front of you, because, well, depending on the channels, like, if it's like, you give them content, you need to adapt to the person. So, and you don't know necessarily who is going to watch your videos. You don't know exactly the level they have, especially,
Right.
well, I'm a bit biased because, of course, we're talking about technical training, also like training on tools. So there is this notion of level, and we really enjoy training beginners, for instance. That's, I think, where we're good at. But that won't be the case of all the people who train, who make classes. But then sometimes we also create a bit of content for people who are more expert. So you need to adapt. So this is quite a challenge, and that you don't know them. But then that's where the relations and the community and getting feedbacks is very important, because those feedbacks help you adjust. Like, for instance, at first I was quite I had difficulties talking really to beginners, because some things like that you master, you always think, okay, they're easy, you know, and you think you're going to try to teach them knowing themselves yourself already. So this is quite challenging to adjust to the level. But the more you get input and get feedbacks from there, you have to really adapt yourself and adjust your words, your how you illustrate,
Right.
your the terms, like everything. I don't know. But this is it's a challenge. I think it's a fascinating challenge.
How do you build these feedback loops? You know, how do you build these connections? What tools or what channels do you use to build like this solid person to person connection with like a student or someone that is learning in one of your trainings?
Well, we have a couple of ways. Um, the first things we see, we have some metrics, say how many people go to the end until the end of the course, or you know, if they do all the exercises, if they comment also,
Mhm.
like see the questions they ask, if there's on one particular video on one particular topic, if there's always the same questions, then we know there is something we didn't explain properly. And then what we use a lot, we use video actually a lot. We have a video ask that we use a lot. We use it not just to get feedbacks, but also to get questions. This is how we do the how to say the support, I guess, of our classes. We ask people whenever they have a question to come to our video ask. It's very simple video ask. We ask,
Mhm.
it's me asking, okay, what can help you with today, and then people using video or audio or screencast. That's one of the things that's really helpful, because we talk about tools and everything's on screen,
Mhm.
and they send us their questions, and so we can see if some questions are coming back all the time. Then maybe we change our video, our class, or our content, or we create a new content to explain one part in particular. So
Nice.
yeah,
That's interesting because I've taken a couple of courses online already, and there's always like different creators make the online course, and then some of them they set up this like Q&A session month for like every month, and then like people would join the call, they ask live questions, but you do this asynchronously, right?
yeah. Well, originally we were doing those office hours type. So
Hmm.
we had a Calendly. The link was available for all our students, and they could book a session. But because we have a lot of things to do in our business, we only had like 15 minute sessions per week. And because our business is growing quickly, people had to wait 2 weeks to be able to meet me for 15 minutes. And
Wow.
you know, when you're training, when you're motivated you're following a class, you need your question fast. I don't
Right.
say instantly necessarily, because we also believe that people need to look, you know, for the answers. That's very important. All the developers know about this,
Yeah.
and we want to get also this into the no coders, I would say.
Mhm.
But again, people, they also are our clients. They're students and clients, and we want to give them the best service possible.
Right.
So that's why, to be able to scale, that's why we decided to go synchronously on this part. On
That's
yeah,
interesting. So you moved from live calls and having like this, scheduled appointments like office hours to more
exactly.
synchronous. What are the main differences? What are how has the experience changed for you as business owners and for your students?
You know, I think honestly, for us, it changed because it's taking us less time to. I mean, we have more questions actually, so maybe we spend more times, but we're able to answer more questions. So that's best. So
Right.
I think they get a better service in the end, and that's what's important. And we try to answer fast, so it's not live, but it's still decently fast. You know, we give ourselves, let's say, 48 hours, but usually we answer within the day. And so I think people still get because we always answer in video, obviously, they still get this feeling of or the relation, you know, like,
Hmm.
because they don't get an email. Email is already pretty good, you know, because it's one, but a video, we can make a little joke, we can do something, you know, a little bit to share a little bit of moment with the people, even if it's not live. So people appreciate it because people also don't have necessarily the time to get on a call for 15 minutes. Maybe they're doing that classes at night. Maybe they want to ask their question at night. So in the end, people enjoy it. But i would i would I would say, like, for our students, it's normal. Like, it's for them, it's normal to get a video, to get a video answer. Then they appreciate it, but we get an even better, I would say, satisfaction. I would say, from people who are leads, who not already our clients. And
Okay.
we have also a video ask for people to ask us questions about our training, or we have a video ask for people they can ask us what would be the best tools for their project, and we answer to everyone. And this is, it doesn't take us too much time, but still, we have to think, we have to watch the person explaining what they're trying to do. It's a bit of a challenge, which I enjoy. Some projects are tough. It's not always easy to get the answer. There's not one answer fits all. And people really appreciate. And sometimes I have an answer back, and people are saying, "Oh, I didn't expect that you would answer me with a video."
And
And
how do they react when they see a video and they're surprised? Do they react in a certain way? Do they say something?
they usually, what's interesting, we don't get too many people who answer back in video.
Mhm.
People usually answer with a text, but they will always say, "Thank you, really, thank you for." They appreciate taking the time, because I don't know, for some reason people value more a video than a text. Although it might take more time to write a text. If I was writing the answer, it would take me more time. But I think they appreciate, and you expose yourself a little bit. But they usually answer in text and say, "Oh, didn't expect that." Or if they're very happy, they will answer with audio, but
It's funny
very
that
rarely
you
with video.
Yeah, I think it's funny that you mentioned this because we were talking on another episode with Twist about building a community online, which, by the way, I'll link somewhere over here in this episode if you're interested in building a community. And she was mentioning also this idea of like, yeah, sometimes we don't get video, but that's totally fine because by showing up on video, we already built that connection,
Sure.
even if we don't get that video. And it's funny that that you mentioned this, because like when I started using VideoAsk, for example, for a project that I had at the beginning, I was kind of like upset, like I was like, oh, I'm expecting videos and people are not answering with video. But then it's true that I realized that the value is there already, even if you're not getting those videos. Personally, like for us, like we're doing support for VideoAsk with VideoAsk,
Yeah.
and we do see that but sometimes when we usually get like text, and then we always reply with video. But in general, after the first or second video, people show up on video.
Yeah.
It's like it creates this rapport where like you feel like you kind of like want to, they give back to you. You want to give back to them by showing up on video.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I had the same. And yeah. And to be fair, in terms of, because I'm trying to be very productive and efficient with my time. Sometimes I kind of answer I prefer if they answer with text, because I can scan it and read it quickly. Or I'll be happy always to watch a video, from someone who took the time to answer me. But in terms of efficiency, for me, for the answers, text is also fine for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I agreed with I will appreciate people making a video, because I feel like we made a step
Yes, in
towards each
terms of the
other with
relationship,
that.
right? Yeah,
Yeah, it really
that's
depends
interesting.
on the context, because we have questions from people, very random. So sometimes it's good to go fast and.
All right, cool. This is interesting. I wonder what are the main differences, because you were not using like asynchronous video before, right? Like because your trainings are like a video, recorded video, and people just watch them at their own pace. It's like
Mm,
more like on demand kind of
yeah.
content, right? So what are, in your opinion, like the main, like let's say 2 3 differences between like a live call like that and a synchronous video?
It's I think one of the difference, like you kind of underlined it, is the relationship you build. It's going to take a bit longer through a synchronous video to get a strong relationship, but it's more it's more efficient, I think, for both sides. Um, but it's really it really depends on the people. Some people just don't like going on a call, and
Yeah.
so I think it's good to kind of have all the options depending on what you can do.
Mhm. It's
Um,
smaller scalable also, right? Like if you
for us,
like you
that's the
can
main point.
right.
Honestly, for us, I think it's and I think, yeah, that's what I was kind of looking for. I think it's good to kind of train people. I was saying, to look for, to not take the opportunity to always go on a call or to ask questions expecting an answer straight away. I think
Mhm.
it's good kind of to educate people to search, to think twice, about doing asking for a question, because you kind of need to look for yourself. That's for any training, that's very important, and it gives you satisfaction. Like, people don't really realize this, but I think they miss if they ask for the answer too fast. In a way, they miss on the satisfaction of having the struggle to find the answer themselves. So
That's like when we were on school. Like now everything is so digital and so immediate, and like I have a question, I get it answered. But like I remember when I was at school and like I was doing homework, that you would have to like figure it out, and like because you would have to deliver homework next
yeah,
day, and then you would have to like maybe it's like 7 p.m. and now you have to figure out how to solve this maths problem, and basically like your mom is like, I don't know. It's like you go and fix it, right?
yeah,
And so I it kind of like brings this nostalgia back to me, but also at the same time it is true that like when you are doing this active research, it's more like you can even not only solve that problem but also like figure it out. So maybe that delay of not having like someone just pop up on a call directly and just like magically solve it to you can actually
yeah,
improve your learning experience, right?
yeah. But you need still to have the option. That's where also this is a
Okay.
business. This is like training, but it's not school. People are paying, to get this knowledge, but we just want
Fair.
to try to give them in the right way. And as you say,
Awesome.
and to scale, because scaling is not just a matter of selling more of our classes. It's also one of the reasons we can make them not too expensive. I don't
Mhm.
know how much people realize that, but if we had, we used to do that actually. Back before COVID and all this, we were doing classes. And so we had 10 people in front of us. All those people were paying, I don't know, maybe 500 euros, let's say. So that would make a good day for us. But we prefer to sell more, to sell less expensive, but to sell more, to be able to scale and have people online so they can follow at their pace. So we can also have them anywhere in the world and keep a reasonable price and be able to scale this. I think that's important for us. It's not really a matter of having tons of people following our classes, but giving them a chance, give more people a chance to follow them.
Awesome. I think you've touched on this before a little bit. And before we wrap up, I want to mention it and can I go a bit more specific on that? So you said before that you need content to get people to discover you, right? And then you build those relationships, and then you start building even like a transactional relationship. My question is, do you still do content? Do you still do recorded content or live content?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we do. So we do both. So we have a YouTube channel, and we
Yeah.
try to do um, all kinds of videos. So people, I think the main point is for people to get a chance for free to see what it's like to be trained by us.
Mhm. Of
And
course.
also we're trying to show some things for the beginners on our YouTube channel, but we also do more advanced tutorials and things like that, and we give them for free. Well, first also because we believe in sharing for the community, and like paying forward, all this mentality that I think is coming more and more in the, I would say, in the startup industry, but I mean in the internet in general.
Mhm.
But it's also really to give people a chance to see our expertise because in the end they don't get a chance to see what's inside our training. They don't know when they buy it. They don't really know what's inside. It's all like paywalled in a way, and we don't want to have people to buy and say, oh, that's not what I expected. We don't like the way you talk. Like, we have a certain way. All the trainers, all the coaches have a way to talk and to say things. Like, for instance, we try to say everything in French. We don't use jargon, like really this startup lingo. We're trying to avoid that and be very accessible. But I mean, honestly, I'm sure some people don't like it. Some people, they like when it's French mixed with English and it's very cool and trendy. So prefer to give people a chance to see us beforehand.
Right.
And then we do the live stuff, and live
Hmm.
is very important. And it's not one-on-one. It's we have a Twitch channel, but this one is more
Okay.
with the French community. And that's one thing we really enjoy, because again, it's the same idea, but it's more, the live, especially on Twitch. Like, I'm not really a gamer, and so I kind of discovered Twitch this year, like a lot of people. But I really enjoy the relationship you can have with your audience through the chat, and also being with several co-hosts. And we have very regular shows now, and we talk about the knockout game, and we do also sometimes tutorials, and we do all those things, and we exchange a lot with the chat,
Nice.
and I really enjoy it. And yeah, and I think it's a good way to express yourself, give to people, they can see you in action, and it doesn't take that much time because it's live. It's 1 hour. I mean, maybe you can prepare a little bit, but that's what I like about live. It's like you don't need too much preparation. You just be yourself. You don't cut, or I don't know how to do any of those things actually.
No,
So
but I think this is very interesting because, right now you have two video channels, YouTube and Twitch, and they behave in a different way, right? So YouTube is
exactly.
like old school video. It's funny how I say YouTube is now old school. So YouTube is now recorded videos that people can watch. The algorithm does the job and blah 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 blah, and people get to discover you, right? And so on the other hand, you have the live interaction, which is kind of different, I would say, because it builds like this direct report, where like you can, I guess, teach and build those connections. Do you use those channels differently when it's live video or like not live video? Do you think asynchronous versus synchronous play different roles?
Yeah, definitely. Well, actually, at first when we started the Twitch channel, we didn't really have the codes, and so we're kind of trying to do the same. And it was a bit, we felt like, okay, like we realized that we were missing on the opportunity to, because there
Mm,
is the chat, on Twitch, and there's people
right.
interact, and you have to engage them. You have to say hi. You have to ask them to ask questions, and to ask for comments and all this. But once you are used to it, and it's great, people appreciate it. But I would say in terms of acquisition and growth, we do it, I mean, like a lot of things, we do it really by passion, because on Twitch you really have to gain every follower, one by one, pretty much. On YouTube, you have all those discovery stuff, and it's cool. You
Right.
put a video, and then your job is done. Well, I mean, but maybe you take a lot of time to make the video, so it's different. But then it's going to live, get more and more views, and be discovered, and you get more and more followers on your channel. On Twitch, it's tough, but it's normal. I mean, it's like you don't have, there's no magical recipes to get a lot of
Never.
followers and all this. It's time and passion, and but it's, I don't know, I think it's enjoyable when you start a live stream, and you have 10, 15, 20 people follow up. It's not much, in terms of the Twitch game. People have millions of followers, but I don't know, for me it's like having 10 people who interact with me, and we've spent 1 hour together. I think it's great.
No, no, it's awesome. It's great. Um, I think we're coming to the end of the episode. Before we wrap up, I want to ask you, because I like how you approach those two channels differently, and I'm wondering if across all your business, do you use live and asynchronous video also differently? For everyone watching, Alexis, could you give us tips if we want to start using video more, asynchronous and synchronous? across like the different touch points of our business and customer journey, do you have any recommendations where is better to use asynchronous and where could be better to go live or use synchronous video?
I think like at the beginning of the journey, I mean, well, I guess the beginning could be content, and this could be live and or asynchronous. But then once you get people on your website and maybe they will be interested in buying your products, I think asynchronous is the best. Like before, we had a HubSpot chat that was interesting and it interrupting me all day, and that was awful. And for that, VideoAsk changed our life by going async and really also having this video we're talking about. So I think everyone should do that. I mean, sorry, I don't want to make like too much promotion for videos, but really, I really believe that that's a game changer. Having the video, on the right and part of your website is going to change a lot.
This is a great way to end the episode. Like, let's see what creativity for you watching. Have you created something interesting you want to share? Leave it on the comments, and we're really excited to discover new ideas and new inventions of stuff that you're doing with VideoAsk or with any other tool. All right. If you want to get in touch with Alexis, probably the best way to do it is through their YouTube channel. And also you can check the website for other trainings that they offer, and maybe there's something there for you too. Alexis, thanks so much. To you watching, thanks for spending these last 30 minutes with us, watching this episode. Again, share your ideas or stuff that you're building with VideoAsk on the comments. We're looking forward to hear from you. And if you have any question, Alexis and I will be here answering the comments during the next few days. So we'll stay in touch, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.